How you all doing? Oh. I mentioned yesterday about how I don't feel qualified to counsel people. That's what I've been doing today. I'm not a counsellor. I'm not a counsellor, but I do listen. I do listen. I just worry that my advice isn't adequate, sufficient. Today, now that I've got all that groove done, it's a couple of points again that I wanted to vlog about, but because I was in the middle of doing other stuff, it would have been rude for me to have bust out a camera and stuff, so that's been skipped. Oh man, I could have got some really good views. I've had a nice long walk down the local marshes, and I don't have any sleep data for anyone today because, not that anyone cares, the thing ran out of battery. It decided it was going to have a nap. So, but I know that I was well rested because I think I went to bed at like 9 PM. I then surfaced again at 2 and then said, sod this, I'm going back to bed. And then that's when all the chaos started and just, ugh. But it's all in, solid. Now, the family is out. They've gone bowling. I'm chilling out here though because it's my time to go bowling next time, but I'm chilling out here with that wee fella. You say, what about me? You can't go bowling, can you, buddy? Because you hasn't got any thumbs. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you get really sensitive about that, don't you? You can't help it, buddy. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. We're not trying to be ableist. Bless you. We'll find a game that you can play too. But seeing as I'm here with the hall and no one else is, I've got some bits to prep for. So I've got some editing bits to do, terrible editing bits, and I'll throw together yesterday's vlog. I think that's practically a raw upload, but I have some recordings to do tonight, and they could go not great because normally we have a setup that we've got pretty much nailed down over the years. Everything's being done remotely, but every single part of the setup has changed for tonight. So when you're doing things remotely, if it's streamed, there's always going to be the possibility of glitches in audio and things because internet is remote. It's kind of like when you see those broadcasts on the telly, when you see the news presenter, and we've got so-and-so in via satellite. Hey, mate! Oh, hi. Hi, guys. How you doing? We're alright. How are you? It's really cold out here. That kind of groove. Or, can't hear him. What's going on? You always have that kind of groove, right? There's always a potential for that, and if you're doing stuff over the internet, so if a connection drops or connection isn't fast enough, then audio can get garbled and stand Makita out. Not a big deal, because we also have local recordings going of each person, each host, whatever. But, again, drift can become a thing, audio drift, that's where each machine counts time differently from every other machine. If you're doing things locally, that's not that big of a deal because you can run everyone into a mixer and you mic them all up and it's all using one central timing crystal. It's counting time the same as it's just one box. There's one clock running, that's all that matters. When you're using, like everyone else is using a different computer or a different audio recorder, or a different camera, timing will be different. Every device measures time slightly differently. So there will be, like, you can do a sync clap, you'll line everything up, and then just over time things will slowly but surely start to come apart. So people might start to talk over each other where they weren't actually doing something in person. It's just where, the time once it's lined back up again has been slightly skewed. Like I was here, that kind of drifts out, and then one person's ahead or a little bit behind. That kind of stuff's pretty easy to fix. It's just a cut and slip. Cut in a gap, find out where things are starting to become recognisable that there's drift, cut it, slip it. So slip it back, slip it forwards and reline it a bit, so you can't, if there is echo in the audio, for example, so like maybe if I'm talking and someone's got a headphone bleed going on, my audio goes through into their microphone, you can just kind of cut it and line it back up so that you can't hear it that well. So again, just cut, slip the audio backwards or forwards, line it back up. However, normally this kind of stuff isn't that big of a deal. We've got it nailed down. There's still a little bit of drift over a couple of hours, but I can sort that. Tonight, though, we're going to be doing things over 4G. And the recording equipment that one of the guys is using is completely different. It's not a setup that we've had nailed down before, and I'm just prepping myself for the nightmare that we might have to use it. It's not going to just be a different microphone or a different interface. It's going to be a different computer and potentially using a completely different operating system. So, different, just everything different. Computer, operating system, software, the interface, microphone, the whole thing's going to be different, and which could then throw a shite ton of spanners in the works. And for the raw recording, not so much, but the timings could be... I could spend a lot of time cutting and re-slipping audio or re-editing audio and realigning audio. So I'm just prepping. Delivery time could be fine. There's going to be... I think I've got like at least 3 or 4 days, but still, it's not going to be as just a simple cut, line and clean job. So... I really hope this works. I really hope this is going to work out, but anything that cocks up is likely going to be my fault.
We need more pointers, basically what I'm saying. Now saying more. One more game?
Looks like everyone had a good time. I've just done the recordings. So I've just done the recordings, as they've been done for a while. Not good. Really not good. I think we were pushing hardware to its limits. We were pushing the technology to its limits, and it all went to pot fast. I mean, it went catastrophically bad, and ugh. It was all going well, wasn't it, Charlie Spaniel, until we said the famous last words. Which actually, off the top of my head, I can't remember what they were. But buttons were pressed. Everything was working great. Initially, everything looked like it was going to go great. It seemed like there was some serious false hope going on there. Like, our hopes have been raised, only to just be dashed over the rocks. We were like, you know, we're rocking out on the Titanic. This thing ain't gonna sink, but oh, gone. It's over. It was the worst case scenario setup like I thought it was going to be. It was a 4G internet connection on a laptop running an unfamiliar operating system to the user, running software that wasn't what was normally used, running a microphone and audio interface that wasn't what was normally used. I'm pretty sure that there was some resampling going on there as well, because I don't remember what the OS's default was. I don't know if it was either 44.1 or 48 for audio kilohertz. So when you do audio, 44.1's a CD, 48's video, and I think on the operating system level by default it's 44.1. It was on a Linux operating system. I think by default it's 44.1, and we wanted to record in 48. But in the software you'd select 48. However, if on the operating system it's set to 41, or 44.1, that has to be resampled. So that can cause issues. And then, as I say, everything seemed like it was going smooth until a browser was refreshed, and then everything went away. Camera feed went away, audio went away, and at one point I thought, oh my god, is this just going to have to be scrapped? I managed to get it to come back, And then at the end, I was then told, by the way, there have been some errors. So I was thinking to myself, well, even if like the feed coming in was completely broken, that doesn't matter because we'll have raw recordings from the microphones through the interfaces onto the computer. But it turns out that because the machine was overloaded, and I've never seen this. I think the software being used was Audacity. I've never seen this error in Audacity, but apparently it dropped parts of the recording. Like there wasn't enough system resources to actually make the recording. It just killed parts of the start of the recording. So that could prove to be a bit of the nightmare. Assuming there is still data there, like from the time that sync was made. So we did some stuff to kind of get an idea for syncing, so I could sync in post. Assuming there is still where it dropped. Assuming dropped means it just recorded dead space, recorded nothing. Or as I said, look, there was the playhead was still moving. Assuming the playhead was still moving, shouldn't be a problem. However, if there was a sync and the drops were literally time had gone past and had been compressed into 0, so there was like time wasn't equal. So if 5 seconds had passed and it recorded nothing, it was just 0 seconds had passed from the playhead, like as if the playhead had paused. I don't know if this is making any sense. That's going to be more awkward to sort out. And then at that point, because the feed I had coming in, whilst not the best quality, that'd be more serviceable. Because realistically, you want to use the raw audio. If raw audio has been recorded, use that and then make a mix down of all that, like do the processing, so noise reduction, EQ, compression, all that kind of stuff. Slap it together, do a mono mix of it if that's what you're going for, ready for delivery in the MP, the 3s. That's ideal. If that turns out not to be an option, grab the live feed from where everything came back up, strip it from a video source or whatever, top and tail it, and send it off. Because at the moment, I'm probably not even going to get the raw file until Monday to work on. So we'll see what kind of nightmare I have in store. But hopefully that's the last time we have to do that. Like I said, everything worked fine until the browser was refreshed. I had high hopes. I was like, wow, this is actually working really, really well. And then it just died. The whole thing just fell apart. That was no fault of the operating system. That was no fault of the software being used. It was literally just a case of we were pushing the hardware available to its limits. We were pushing the internet connection that was being used on the other end to its limits, because it was a 4G cellular connection. 1080 60p video was being buffered at the time, and I believe that's just what tanked it. It was a low power laptop as well. It had enough. It couldn't do it, and game over, man. So, I was psyching myself for the worst. It happened. I can probably recover it. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. We've recovered from worse. So, we have recovered from worse. Remember that time when we had the stuttering audio file, and that was like there'd be a part of a sentence. And so in this episode we are going to be talking about the next game in this series, the next game in this series, and I had to cut that. It was a random issue. Had to then cut that into a coherent thing. Like it was half an hour's worth of stuff, and it spat out like an hour plus file of just that like kind of dodge, repetitive fluff. And oh mate, if I can be bothered to do that, I'm sure I can do something with whatever I'm going to get in a couple of days. So, wish me luck. I'm now charging the sleep tracker to see if I can actually get some readings for tonight. It's weird actually. Battery died, doesn't record anything at all. It had a nap. Bless it. I'm glad that everyone had fun out today. Kind of. It's been a weird one. But I'll see you all with a bit of luck tomorrow.